Good evening. This is Wednesday, April 2nd, 216 days until the 2008 presidential election. If you could take Senator Clinton's 3 a.m. phone call commercial and multiply it by the Clintonian commander-in-chief threshold test, the product might be the endorsement of the virtual co-chair of the 9/11 Commission. In our fifth story on the countdown tonight, Senator Clinton did not get that endorsement today. Moreover, the magnetic poles of electability and non-electability have evidently switched. One Democrat is thought by Democrats to be more likely to beat John McCain by nearly 2-1. One Democrat is thought by Republicans to be more likely to beat John McCain by nearly 3-1. And that Democrat is not Senator Clinton either. The endorsement first from Lee Hamilton, not merely the former longtime congressman from Indiana, which votes on the 6th of May, but in this race more likely to be identified as the official vice chairman, essentially co-chairman, on both the 9/11 Commission and the Iraq Study Group. And before that, the former chair of both the House Foreign Affairs and Intelligence Committees. Mr. Hamilton issuing a statement reading, quote, "Obama will strengthen our ability to use all the tools of American power and relentlessly promote the American values of freedom and justice for all people." And on the matter of red states, on the premise that states have to be one shade or another endorsement today, this one from a superdelegate, Wyoming's governor, Dave Friedenthal, praising Obama on key Western domestic issues, energy and the environment, suggesting also that already Obama has demonstrated crossover appeal in his 65% Republican state. More on overall electability in a minute. But the issue of superdelegates, we learned today, a testy one for a former commander-in-chief in this campaign. The San Francisco Chronicle reporting that just before Bill Clinton spoke publicly in California on Sunday, telling Democrats to chill out about the race, he himself lost his chill backstage about the race. One of the worst political meetings I have ever attended, says a superdelegate survivor. When a Clinton superdelegate told him she regretted Clinton supporter James Carville having called New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson a Judas for endorsing Obama, the former president was quoted as saying, "5 times to my face, Richardson said that he would never do that." A red-faced, finger-pointing Clinton erupted, ultimately apologizing later the same day. Richardson himself denying ever giving Clinton any such guarantee in an op-ed in the Washington Post. It was, however, a different former president who seemed to inspire Senator Clinton last night. Without mentioning his name, she repeated a joke this former president sometimes shared with his audiences.
A man walks by the barn and sees this little boy in this room filled with manure. And he's standing there and he's digging and he's digging and he's digging. And the man says, "Son, what are you doing? Up to your hips in manure with that little shovel." And the boy said, "Well, with this much manure around, there's got to be a pony, and I'm going to find him."
The president who used to tell that story all the time, of course, was Ronald Reagan. With us tonight, pleasure to welcome in person our own Richard Wolff, a political analyst for us, senior White House correspondent for Newsweek magazine. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
First off, the Hamilton endorsement. Was it expected? Is it measurable?
Well, I don't think a lot of people did expect it. But more important than the expected or not expected is what one senior Obama aide told me was the validation question. And this is really the impact of this. The questions, the 3 a.m. questions, however you want to phrase it, who is Barack Obama? Why does he think he's ready to be president? This kind of endorsement answers that question, at least for some people. Maybe some people will forget about it when the time passes by. But for the moment, this is important.
Yeah, you bring this man out and say, he'll answer that question for you.
Exactly.
And he has some credibility in the area of 3 a.m. phone calls.
Just a little.
The former Montana Senator John Melcher also came out for Obama today, as we mentioned, the governor of Wyoming. Are they saying that Obama can win these red states? Are they implying that there's at least that chance of it that would not be there if Clinton is the nominee?
Well, you would have to be a brave Democrat to say they can take Wyoming. But Montana may be in play. Remember, Democratic governor John Tester went big in 2006 in that Senate race there. So there is a game plan there that could work in Montana. But more important than the question of whether Obama can win for these superdelegates is, am I going to win? Are the folks on my ballot, my allies, going to win? And that's the down-ballot question that the Obama folks have played very well. They've got the numbers to back them up. The Clinton folks have never really taken that argument head-on and taken it down. Yeah,
there doesn't seem to be anything going on in the Clinton campaign right now that looks past this prize of getting the nomination. All the terrain afterwards is a blank territory, is it not?
Well, they say it's just phony. It's not going to happen. The campaign battleground will stay the same,
right.
And this talk about expanding into these other states is ridiculous. But that doesn't really address the question, does the top of the ticket affect the bottom of it? And in the minds of these superdelegates, that's an important issue when it comes to deciding who should get the nomination.
This report in San Francisco in the Chronicle, given Bill Clinton's apparent intensity, we'll use that word, about superdelegates, where are her superdelegate announcements? And when she was asked about this the other day and actually answered, I don't keep track of those things. What are we to infer from that?
Well, she doesn't keep track of them the same way that President Bush doesn't read the polls. You know, there is a problem here for her in that Bill Clinton took her to a plateau of superdelegate endorsements, and she's been stuck there. And really, if they had those people to wheel out, they should have done that already.
And Obama got suitably whacked weeks ago, including from this desk, for seeming to flat-out compliment Ronald Reagan, particularly on his impact on history, particularly relative to Bill Clinton's presidency. Now Senator Clinton is using Ronald Reagan's manure jokes. Are they policy previews? Are they just pitches to the independents? What's going on here?
There is a horse manure joke in here, and I'm not going to go there. What's going on here is, as the Clinton folks like to say, it's just words. I mean, look, when it came down to the Deval Patrick issue about stealing someone's story and not giving them attribution, remember what that problem caused? I mean,
I've forgotten that
you
one.
know, there is a track record here of maybe saying one thing and doing another.
But am I seeing too much in this? She's quoting Ronald Reagan. She's meeting with Richard Mellon Scaife. Ed Rendell is saying Fox News gave them the best coverage, most balanced coverage of the entire primary. Bill went on Rush Limbaugh's show to mention this again. Limbaugh was not there at the time. These are odd venues. Is it any venue in a storm?
It's a sign of the apocalypse. I mean, look, these people coming together, Scaife having lunch with Bill Clinton, that's enough to cause the Four Horsemen to appear over the horizon.
Yeah, somebody needs to send me a check about 1998 if that is going to happen, if that's going to be resolved. Richard Wolff, MSNBC political analyst, senior White House correspondent for Newsweek, as always, great thanks, especially in person.
Thank you, Keith.